Coming up this week on Unpicked.
My yay is different to your yay.
Wow. But he said, Will was bent over on the couch and Dwayne was killing him.
Money. No. We don't hate men with money. We love men with money. We love them with money.
And then you're going to take advice from her as to how to live your life. And you haven't even left the country this year.
Wagwan peeps, it's Venom, what you saying? Alongside my home slice, damn me to the zane. When she and I get together on the poddy, ask anybody, the vibes are insane.
Join our family and feel free to come by. We on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Yeah.
New drop on the way every Monday at 6.
Tune in and come see what we unpick.
If you couldn't be a black person because black people didn't exist, where would you be remade?
What?
As if you was going to be reincarnated, sorry.
A race.
Yeah, you couldn't be a black person because black people don't exist. God said, I'm going to make you again. I need you to...
I won't exist.
You just wouldn't exist.
I don't make sense as anything other than being a black person, to be fair. Can you imagine this personality in another race? No. It just wouldn't bang. It wouldn't bang. It wouldn't bang.
Oh my Lord. Really?
Yeah, I don't think. Come on, man. You know me. I don't think this personality would work in another race. Like, I don't think. Yeah, you know me, man. I don't think this would work in another race. Come on, just wouldn't be as saucy. Do you know what I mean? My yay is different to your yay.
Wow. That is interesting.
Dripping in sauce, dripping
to
sauce.
say the least.
Yeah, just wouldn't work.
You really think that it's like not...
Being black, being Nigerian, being Yoruba is so ingrained in my personality that I just...
Yeah, but you can sum all of that up to just be appreciative of your culture. So why could you not be someone else and be appreciative of your culture?
Okay, let me state it plain. I don't want to be anything else. If it's not black, I don't want it. Okay, so that's the answer to my question.
Cool.
Yeah.
So guys, welcome to the Unpicked podcast. Glad you made it. I go by the name of Venom, and this is the one and only.
Dami Zane.
You can only be black.
Only.
Even if God requests her to come to this world again to be something else, there's only this one.
God wouldn't even request for me to come as something else because God don't make mistakes when he makes what he makes. And
he said it was a mistake.
Black. He made me as black.
Why is Jesus supposed to be coming again? It's not a mistake. It's God's will.
Exactly.
So,
but God created me as I am.
There's no but.
God created me as I am. If I was meant to come as something else, I would have. Even if black didn't exist.
To come as something
even
else.
If black didn't exist.
To come again.
If I was to come again and black didn't exist, I wouldn't come back. God wouldn't bring me back.
So you defy God. Defy God.
No, God wouldn't bring me back because this is how I was supposed to come.
You defy God.
No, this is how I was supposed to come.
You even tell God what his opinion is.
No,
even though he said, damn, you must go back.
No, I read my Bible and God will not tell me to come back. That's not how it works. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah. You tried it.
I did it. Because he said he would send his son again. That doesn't mean that he cannot send someone else again.
He did. Yeah, he's going to bring his son back to take to... That's going to be the day of judgment. That doesn't mean that people are going to be reincarnated.
I know I didn't say it means that people are going to be reincarnated. I said it means that he could send other people back if he so chose because he's God. But
I answered your question. You ain't gonna get no other race from me. It's black or nothing. That's cool.
Cool.
Have you got a song of the week?
Yes.
Okay.
My song of the week. What's your song of the week?
My song of the week is John Redcorn by Sir.
Oh, yeah. I know John Redcorn. I never know it by name, but I know that I like that track, even though I forget what it is. Okay, yeah. Yeah, big tune. Big tune.
Yeah,
Funny. I feel like we've picked artists that are sort of in the same line, even though mine is a woman and yours is a man. I think they have done one collab. I might be wrong.
Okay.
But they're in the same vein. Her name's Alex Isley.
Mm-hmm.
And I picked a song called Still Wonder. I love loads of her songs. I couldn't even think of one. I just picked a random one.
That's like me and Sir. Okay, cool. Same kind of vibe. I see.
Yeah. Slow tempo, R&B.
We on the same vibes today. I see that. Cool. All right, I need to do better at putting the song. Alex. I need to do better at putting the songs on the playlist in time, boy. I'll be adding them on late. Guys, please, bear with me, yeah? By Wednesday, it'll be on the playlist. By Wednesday.
Yeah. It's happening.
Cool. This have you seen that I have here is so wild. It's a rumor that we've heard before, but now it's like it's been, I don't want to say personified. It's been resurfaced, but then
personified. I hear what you're saying.
Do you know what I mean? Like now we've got visuals.
It's got some type of validation behind it,
and visuals. So basically, Will Smith's ex, I don't know, security guard, bodyguard, or whatever it might be, he worked with Will Smith.
I think it was personal assistant or something.
He was in his close circles. Was in an interview with a content creator. I can't remember her name. Is it Trish or Tisha?
I think it was Trish.
Is it Tisha K? She's the one that was she had a defamation case with Cardi B, and she owes Cardi B a lot of money.
Oh, is that the person? Damn.
You'd have thought that she would have let her lesson, but no, here she is again.
You even thought she would have stopped talking.
Here she is again.
She said, well, she got to pay it though, innit? So she got to make that money.
She got to find the money. So, yeah, they were in an interview and this guy was doing a tell-all about his experience with the Smiths in the industry. And he basically said that he caught Will Smith having anal intercourse. Thank you for helping me. With Dwayne Martin, and he was graphic. He was explaining the situation. So
he was very graphic.
He was very
He wasn't graphic.
He wasn't graphic, but the details, he had details of like where they were, what was happening at the time, how he found himself to be there, all of that stuff. And so, yeah, like this is, I mean, at the time that we recorded, this is fresh off the press.
Yeah, literally, this is this morning, but
this is fresh off the press. So, what do you think? What you're saying?
So, I've had a few people send this to me this morning because obviously it's Will. I was a very, very, very big Will Smith fan previously. Everybody knew that, etc. And then this narrative of, the Jada Pinkett, the Will, my thoughts on it is I'm starting to think that Will Smith has had his own sense of entanglement with some powers that be that has unfolded incorrectly as to why everyone is gunning for this guy for the past. What has it been like? Maybe about 10 years? How long has it been?
It's been that long?
So I'm counting it from when Jada started her rubbish with Tupac and sending him letters and all of this stuff.
I can't even remember when that was.
It's a while though. It's like a while.
I would count it from the pandemic.
You only count, so you're not counting it from August?
I'm counting it from...
Isn't that before?
That was in the pandemic. Entanglement was during the pandemic.
But when it actually happened, was that not before? Didn't it come out in the pandemic, but it actually happened before?
The entanglement thing, the story came out towards the end of the pandemic. The end of the pandemic. So I'm presuming that part happened in the pandemic or maybe the beginning. Remember, pandemic is from like 2020, start of 2020.
I know.
So
it's a long time.
I'm saying three, almost 4 years. I don't know about 3 years. It's been long. Oh my god, yeah, because we're in 2023.
But all of the Tupac stuff was before that. I'm sure when she used to be sitting with what's her daughter's name?
Willow.
When she was writing
Red Table Talks,
doing all that stuff with Willow.
Maybe, you know. I've lost all sense
I feel
of
like it feels like it's been long,
time.
but
I've
I'm
lost all
saying
sense of time.
because
Yeah.
the pandemic does a lot. But I just feel like, like one of them bosses, one of them execs, one of them CEOs, like maybe he's done something with their daughter or they've had an agreement and then it's not gone that way or something, because the way it's just consistent bombardment, consistent. He resurfaces, they clap him straight back down. He resurfaces, they clap him back down every time. And I don't think, personally, to me, I really couldn't care less if someone said Will Smith is actually bisexual. I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. Like at this point, I'm not invested anymore. But it's the way that information was delivered was definitely in a way to destroy someone's credibility, not just to say that someone's bisexual or is now gay or was gay. You know what I mean?
My issue is it shouldn't really discredit him.
No. The way the story is told,
even the way the story's told, it shouldn't discredit him, because we live in a time now.
The intention,
but we live in a time now where there's freedom when it comes to sexuality.
Of course.
So what? When I saw it, I was like, okay, and it doesn't take away from his career, his success. I think what Jada's been talking about is worse.
Does a lot more. Yeah,
is a lot worse than an ex-employee saying, "Oh yeah, I saw him getting clotted by Dwayne Martin."
Yeah, but I don't think it was
the part that for me that I thought was you didn't have to say all of that, was when he was talking about the Africa coming out. Was when he said, when he described Will's penis. Did you see that bit?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
To me, I was
I felt like that was so. Because I didn't take that in the worst way. I know what you're saying, but I didn't take it in the way that it was saying that Will was small.
No, he was saying.
I took it in the way that he was saying comparing to what Jada has had.
Yeah, exactly. But he didn't need to say all
which
of
I
that.
don't think is bad.
He didn't need to say all of that. And even the description the description he gave, damn, I can't even, like right now, I can't even go and get it out.
The baby leg?
Yeah, like why would you describe it like that? Like you don't need to, all you have to say is, all he had to say was, Jada has had, because I'm guessing he was talking
some
about
big boys in her time. I don't know.
He didn't even have to talk about it at all. He could have just been like, maybe Jada wasn't feeling fulfilled sexually. And that's interesting because Jada spoke about their sex life before. And keeping the spice alive. So it's kind of like, why do you need to talk about this? Like, just say that you know that he's bisexual and keep it moving.
But I feel, again, that's why I feel like it was done to discredit Will and to reduce his being. Because there's things that were said and the way that they were said, that's the only real outcome. For example, saying that, Will and Dwayne were engaging in a sexual act in Dwayne's dressing room, that's fine. But he said, Will was bent over on the couch and Dwayne was killing him.
Yeah, but
that
obviously
is to discredit someone's masculinity, because anybody can be gay, and Will presents himself as a masculine man. He presents himself as a man's man.
But my challenge to that is, it's just because someone is a bottom doesn't mean that they're not masculine.
No.
Do you get
it's
what
not
I'm
about
saying?
being a bottom and being a top.
Saying?
It's about someone killing you.
No.
It's about someone killing you.
Yeah, but as a woman who understands how penetrative sex works, getting pammed is not a big deal. It's not that deep. Doesn't mean that you're... Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, just because... That's the nature of sex, right? That's the nature of being penetrated sometimes. Sometimes it's soft and lovely and sometimes it's the boom, 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 like I've said before. So to me, it didn't make me think of him as any less of a man, or I didn't hear that and think, oh my gosh, Will's mad feminine. He's not masculine.
No. It's not about that. It's about highlighting.
I think he said it like that because if he just says, oh no, I've seen Will engage in the sexual act of a man, it doesn't sound as believable until you give details. Sometimes the details is what makes people go, oh, it must be true, because why would you have those type of details? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. So I think bent over was the detail though. That's fine.
He was given but he wanted to illustrate the type of sex we're talking about here. That's why he had to go, okay, he was bent over and he was, he was getting rammed pretty much.
Yeah, I think even rammed is different to killing him.
No, not really. It's the same. For me, anyway. But I feel like even if it's true, it shouldn't be news. I think this girl needs to stop doing interviews with people and talking people's business because she about to find herself.
She didn't actually say anything. She was just listening. And she said, let me just take a moment to digest that.
Yeah, she did say that who needs enemies when they've got friends like you? And I was like, yeah.
I know, I was like, yeah, that was the truth though, boy.
Spot on.
How you gonna be someone's friend for 40 years and then just be chatting all of their business?
You see why you can't trust friends?
Even if you ain't friends no more.
You can't trust friends like that. You can't trust friends like that.
That's people in general. You never know someone like that for you.
Is he really a friend? He was an employee, so it's different slightly.
He said they were friends, and then he said in the latter years he was the friend and Will was not like participating in the friendship or something. And
so obviously he's disgruntled. That's why he's trying to use a
maybe. I'm less interested in the details of the interview and more interested in the fact that people keep coming up to say something about this man. That's what I'm interested in.
I had a theory when it came to Jada. I had a theory that Will has committed a crime and Jada knows about it, and she's hanging that over his head. Like, I can say what I like, you can't do nothing. If you do, I'm gonna open your clout and let everyone know what you've been up to.
I'm not even gonna talk about the Suella thing, but that's the vibes I'm getting from this Suella allegation. That's politics through and through. Okay. So the have you seen that I wanted to talk about is something that we've talked about. So I feel like we've talked about it so many times. So I feel like maybe we need to find the episodes and then send it to all of these people who want to be on these TV shows where you get to put your personality out there in the world and hopefully get some kind of deal. So in the Big Brother house, there's been a few black contestants this year. One of them is Trish Belusa. Trish Belusa is now facing backlash because some of her offensive tweets have resurfaced.
Oh dear.
Yeah, which I just feel like at this point in 2023, this should no longer be a narrative that anyone is doing.
What was her tweets? What were her tweets about?
Okay, so the first one, the grab you in story catcher is, I want to be as motivated as Hitler was.
In what way?
This is the first one.
What's she trying to say?
That's all the tweet says. And this is what people forget is when you do tweeting, yeah, you're a part of a conversation. But once that conversation has passed, your tweet has no context.
Or sometimes it's just a singular tweet.
It's just a tweet. And that's all they're seeing is your name and what you said. The conversation is gone. Context is gone. So that's what she said. Then and these are the ones that you literally can't walk back. The Hitler one, you could probably try and, I was trying to be like.
Yeah.
Nah, so she said, the smell of pondu cooking is so strong. I hope I don't leave my house smelling like Asian people smell of curry at times.
Oh.
This is one of many. You can't walk. You see what I'm saying? You cannot walk this back. The detail, the clarity, the sentence structure.
Oh, no.
She said when an Asian girl has pics with their legs out, their Asian guys click like. I guess to them that's as revealing as a topless pic.
No.
She's doing bits. This is, does it say the date? 2012. 2012.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. She said, I start feeling funny when I watch disabled people for too long. There's bear.
Okay, that's enough.
That's
enough. Right.
So, please, because we've spoken about it, but when I read these tweets, I was like, love.
This is my thing, yeah. When you are starting a career on social media, in the public eye, you have to do inventory on your past. Because obviously, people tweet shit, people repost shit, people engage in content that they want to, whatever they want to, when they have no eyes on them. But if you know you're going to go on a TV show or you're about to start you're trying to take social media seriously, which means there's a potential that you're going to be an influencer or whatever and become a public figure, you need to go and do inventory on your past. When we started this podcast, I went to my Twitter, and I'm not even the kind of person that says wild things. I started searching words just to make sure because I started my Twitter in the early 2000s. Like when Twitter first came out, that's when I started my
Johnny
account.
Just Come.
And I've had seasons of being on it, not being on it, being on it, not being on it. I have like hundreds of thousands of tweets. God knows what those hundreds of thousands of tweets say since early 2000. So what did I do? I started searching all the trigger words that I could find, that I could think of, right? To ensure if this podcast pop off or I pop off, no one's going to go searching through my tweets and be like, yeah, in 2010, Dabby said this about... It's not going to be me. I've just started taking TikTok really seriously. I've decided TikTok's going to be my platform, not Instagram. It's going to be TikTok because I prefer the community there.
Yeah.
I went and removed all my reposts on my TikTok. Every last one. It took me 3 hours, but I did it. I went and removed all my reposts. And then I made all my likes and my saves private. Not because there's anything crazy on there, but because the way that I can see my TikTok going, if someone was to Dammy reposted a post where they were saying that black men are such and black women are such and such. I don't want no wahala, okay? I don't want no wahala. So I did inventory. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Just in case. And it's not like I like anything wild or anything like that, but things can be misinterpreted. And like you said, things can be taken out of context. Back in the day, people used to laugh, and it's not that this is okay, but people used to laugh and joke about people's cultures. People used to mimic all cultures. Like you'd hear people doing African accents for bants, Caribbean accents for bants, Asian accents for bants. Do you know what I mean? Like people till today still do, I can do an impression of someone from Australia. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing, which later on down the line, that could be seen as derogatory to an Australian, or do you know what I'm trying to say? But so that's why I was like, if once you know you're going to be in the public eye, influencer, artist, anything, you need to do inventory on your past and make sure there's nothing that's going to catch you out, because we're all human. And jokes, I mean, things like talking about Hitler and stuff, that's not okay. But back in the day, people used to take the mick out of other people's cultures and it wasn't seen as racist. It was just banter. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But today, it's racist. Don't even try it. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I don't subscribe to that belief. I'm still a firm believer of people need to be able to take the mick. And in the context of it being a joke, this is a comedic performance. This is for your enjoyment. Also, we all need to be laughing, but obviously tweets are not necessarily jokes, especially this stuff doesn't read like jokes. So
yeah, some of that is like, it's giving I don't like them. That's what it's giving.
But it's very every direction.
Like the stuff about their showing their legs, that is a joke. That's definitely a joke.
Yeah, for sure. But obviously, when you're not
that's even a joke I've heard about Muslims. Like, she shows her ankle. It's like,
I think that's what she means when she says Asian.
Yeah,
the way some of these are reading, I think that's what she meant.
Even that is dumb to think that only Asians are Muslim. Do you know what I mean? It's very stupid. But anyway, yeah, man. Yeah, that's my advice. If you know you're gonna be doing up, I want to be a public figure in any shape, way, or form. Please do inventory on your past. Make sure they can't catch you out.
I feel like they don't even accept you into these things. And I think Big Brother already saw this. She applied and they were like...
Yeah, they would have done their checks. They would have done their checks.
And they said, yeah, let's keep that.
Yeah.
Because we can use that. When she gets voted out or whatever, we can use that to get more... The same thing happened
to Whitney Adebayo from... Is her surname Adebayo? Anyway, Whitney from Love Island.
Okay.
She was a favourite. Everyone loved Whitney, yeah, from day dot. She's from like South London, so she gives South London UK baddie vibes, like to a T. That's Whitney. But she conducted herself so well on Love Island. Like people tried to like and as a black woman, I understand this. People tried to get that out of her, that
they
typical
tried to draw
black
out.
woman trope.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole time she remained cool, calm, collected, reserved, you know, just showed her bubbly side. She did have an argument with one of the other girls who happened to be mixed.
Mm-hmm.
And once that argument happened, it's like it gave all the other races the ticket to start hating her, because it was like, okay, you've gone for the mixed person. The mixed person's half white. Yeah. So obviously the black girl is now the antagonist, right? And that's when things shifted for her. But throughout the whole season, she was even voted a favourite on the show and stuff like that. So I think people started to hate. I think people were hating on her because we know how it goes on these reality TV shows when you're a black woman, like, or black person, like they're looking for a reason not to like you. Like it's almost like it's almost like the Facebook uncles and aunties. Do you know what I mean? The Facebook Karens. And I know that might sound racist as well, to be fair, because it's almost like, oh, you're calling me a Karen. But you know, the Facebook lot, yeah, they don't like other people, if you get what I mean. So like, you can't win a reality TV show as a black person if those people are voting. They're looking for something. Whitney had reposts on TikTok of like Putin and all sorts of wild things that the majority of society don't agree with. So these lot were like, oh, she approves of terrorists and stuff like that. And that became that became an issue. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like the same thing is happening with this girl. So you could be right. You could be right. Because I know for sure, not because I've done an application myself, but I know for sure that they do thorough checks of your socials before. Of
course, man.
You know, so if any Jane Doe can find it, they've certainly seen it. So you could be right on that. You could be right on that.
I think it's a marketing thing, man. What's the point of having someone with no dirt? Like as soon as I haven't watched this year's Big Brother, not even a speck.
Yeah.
And I don't know who is, but all I can say is whether she's voted in still or she gets voted out or whatever, this is a whole piece of free publicity to just go to the press and now everyone's talking about Big Brother again. You know what I mean? Off of such like you didn't have to pay for this. This is just, oh, look what we know about this person. Bam. So if I was making my own reality TV show, I wouldn't use people that aren't problematic. I'm using problem people.
But then, you know what is sad about it? Now she's probably not going to get brand deals and stuff like that because most people go on these shows so that they can come out of it with a name for themselves. And what brand is going to want to touch her with those type of comments?
Of course not.
It's not going to happen.
You're talking about racial groups, talking about ethnic groups, talking about ableism.
Forget about it. It's too much. It's too much. And then you spoke about Hitler and you know anything to do with that situation, if you're not on the right side of history, forget about it. Palestine and Israel. Do you know how many people are losing their jobs because they're supporting Palestine? I ain't saying nothing on that. We know the powers that be. We know what side they sit on. The moment you do not agree with that side, forget about it. So she ain't getting deals. She's not going to get, it's going to be difficult for her to get deals because even just for the Hitler one alone, not even talk about the ableism and all that, the Hitler one alone, they're going to say anti-Semitic.
Yeah, the Hitler one is weird. It's weird. It's weird.
What would possess you? But anyway, let's move on.
I don't know.
Let's move on. So I have a bonus. Have you seen? A bonus. Have you seen? Yeah. Keke Palmer has filed a what do you call it?
Restraining order
against her ex, man like Darius, forget his surname because he's irrelevant. Because she's saying that she's been a victim of DV, right? Her mum spoken out about it, saying that, you know, she was made aware a year ago, and she made his brother aware, as in Darius, his brother, aware of it. And, you know, we're seeing messages, like screenshots of messages between Keke's mum and Darius's mum and all sorts on socials, right? And the narrative on the Clock app And the narrative on Twitter, on X, formerly Twitter, is girls do not date men who are broke. Don't date men who are not doing as well as you. Even Steve Harvey warned Keke about this. Now look, he's an abuser. Men that don't make as much money as you are not as doing as well as you will only grow to hate you in a relationship. That's the narrative off the back of that story. So yeah, I wanted to hear your perspective on that.
The narrative or the story?
The narrative, because the story is the story.
Yeah. Okay. So the narrative, in my opinion, is rubbish. But if girls want to use that, they use it as you may. It just means there's going to be even less men for you to choose from.
Yep.
Especially as women aspire to be better, aspire to do more, aspire to have high careers or higher ranking roles within careers. So you're going to be the top earners. So by default, you're going to have no men to go for apart from your boss. So enjoy that one if that's what you're after, do that. Doesn't make sense, but yeah, it's very shallow as well to assume that just because you make more than a man, if you date him, he will hate you. But yeah, I mean, it almost begs the question: do all women hate men who earn more than them? If it's you're coming up with the narrative,
no, because women don't really work from ego, if that makes sense, and we seek men that are doing better than us. The ease of life. This is why I say, you see all them men, that go, I want to date younger. Have your preference, date younger. But those younger girls don't like you. They want you because you're meant to be more established. They want you for your money. It's not your receding hairline, pot belly that they're looking at and thinking, damn, he's sexy. It's not that. It's the money. It's money. Women like money. It's a fact. Women of all ages like money. We like men who are doing well. We want to be looked after. We like easy life. Every woman would prefer, if you had two men that looked exactly the same, the same character, as in they're good guys, yeah? In fact, you could even make the rich one a bit of an ass. The majority of women are going to the rich guy. They're not going for the one that hasn't got money. We want ease of life. That's just women. And it speaks back to the security that I was talking about before. You know, a few episodes ago, I was talking about women like to feel secure and protected. As well as height, money is another one that gives them that security and protection. Right? So I can't agree that it would be seen the other way, like you're saying, in that.
No, I'm asking. I'm like, yeah.
Do women hate men with money? No. We don't hate men with money. We love men with money. We love them with money. That's how we are. However, I kind of see where the girls are going with this. And this is from experience. I think that it takes a certain type of man to date a woman who appears to be doing better than him. It takes a man who is confident within himself and has a high self-esteem, who knows that he's striving for what he needs to strive towards and doesn't see his partner as competition. Unfortunately, not all men have that mindset. There are some men who feel less than around women who are doing better than them, right? And this is where you get some men who try and belittle women for their successes, like, oh, you focused on your career making money, but you're alone, you're single, you ain't got a man, nobody wants you, men don't care if you've got money or not. We don't care because they try to belittle those successes. I feel like some of those men do that because they're not where they want to be and they're not doing as well as that woman. And so that's why they feel like they need to make her feel small for what she's got. And I feel like it depends on the guy's character. That is what determines whether or not what these girls are saying is true or not. There's definitely men out there who feel intimidated if their partner is making more money than them or is doing better than them, and then it shows in how they treat them in the relationship. But likewise, there's men out there. What I'm saying is there's also men out there that don't do that and still love their partner the same way and are still loving and kind and, you know, have been raised right. Do you know what I mean? So there's some truth to what the girls are saying, and I think the truth is the case in Keke's situation. What these girls, the narrative that these girls have come up with is not a lie, but I just don't think it needs to be like a blanket rule that never date a man that's not doing as well as you. Because I think, like I said, there's some men that they know that I'm not doing okay right now, but I will be, so I don't mind. And there's also
but I mean,
men,
a man doing also, okay might never be, him doing good might still never be more than her. Like, what if she actually has a good job?
Yeah, but then there's also men out there that want to have sugar mummies, so they don't mind. Do you know what I mean? They're not going to hate on you.
No, but what if he doesn't want a sugar mummy? What if he is just a working man and he has a woman who has a good job? Like, every job isn't a good job. There's a million jobs. Some of them are good. I agree,
but I just think that some men, it takes a special type of man to be okay in that situation.
I don't think it takes a special type of man, you know. I think that there's different people in those situations. And I think that probably in a lot of the situations where, not Keke Palmer and Halle Berry. I'm talking about normal people situations.
Halle Bailey, yeah.
Sorry, Halle Bailey.
Yeah.
Halle Berry, I said, didn't it? Sorry. I'm talking about more normal people situations. Like, I'm not privy to those relationships, but I don't think, because of how patriarchy works and stuff, I don't think men necessarily use their income to say that it's a position over a woman. Like, oh, I earn this much type of vibe or whatever. I don't think they compare their salary to their woman's salary. That's what I mean. I don't think a guy would be like, oh yeah, I'm earning more. I
disagree, because I've been in a relationship where that actually happened, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like,
but what I'm saying is, I don't think that. Yeah, but I don't think that it's the same with ladies in some of these situations. I think that they not hold on to the fact that they're doing better than their man, but it's a known factor. Whereas a guy would never be like, oh, I'm a CEO and you're just a manager.
I agree with that. Men don't, some men, I can't say all, some men probably don't hold, like, they don't make it like their personality now that I'm a CEO.
Yeah, their position at work doesn't now
affect how they are. But not all women do that. Like, not all women are like, I'm making more money than my man, and they make their man feel some type of way. Like, for example, like Gabrielle Union saying that she's, what was it? That because she was earning more money than her man, she felt that was enough for her to cheat. Not all women act like that when they're making more money than their man. There's humble women out there, just like there's humble men. For you to even think that there's humble men, you must think there's humble women. Not all women are wicked, and not all men are wicked. Do you get it?
Of course.
So I hear what you're saying, but with that being said, and because of that, yeah, some of these girls are right. There's some men out there that hate your guts because you're doing better than them. And it's because they hate themselves. They hate the fact that they're not doing well themselves. And they don't like you being the one doing what they think they should be doing. So like, and I'll speak as a Nigerian girl. As a Nigerian girl, both parents Nigerian, within like what I know of my culture is that the men are raised to be providers. You don't need to worry about paying bills, paying for dates. Nigerian men believe that that's my job. To the point where if you go on a date with a Nigerian guy, and I'm talking one that is like a proper Nigerian, not like these British boys, these proper Nigerian guys, you go on a date with one of them and you bring out your purse, he will feel emasculated immediately because that is not your job. You're not meant to pay for anything. That is for them to do. So imagine you're dating a man with that sort of mentality and you're doing better than him financially. He's not going to be okay with that. In fact, he'll probably try and date a woman that... There's men that date women who don't make as much money as them on purpose because they don't want to feel emasculated. Do you get where I'm coming from? So I do think that there's some element of truth to what those girls are saying about this scenario, in light of Keke's scenario. I just don't think that it should be blanket statement that never date, like, girls, this is the reason. Because a lot of TikToks I saw off the back of that story, of women telling girls, yeah, if a man's not making as much money as you, he hates you. Don't date him. He hates you. And I'm like, you can't say that. Because it's not like...
It's not true. He doesn't even know you.
Well...
He doesn't even know how much money you're making.
I can't say it's not true.
You tell him how much money you're making.
I can't say it's not true. Well, no.
I'll tell you why it's not true. I'll tell you why it's not true.
Hold on. You know what you just said? That's not true, you know? So, okay, so what you just said about, he doesn't know how much money you're making. So I'll use me, for example. I live by myself. I have a car. I have a dog, right? No one, there's no sugar daddy. There's no, my dad gives me allowance. I've been living by myself for 4 years. Yeah, 4 years. I'm moving it. Yeah, this is going into my 5th year of living alone and independently funding my life. Right? I've met men who still live with mum, still live with dad. And they've used their own lips to say to me, you must be doing better than me because I can't afford to move out, but you can. And no one helps you. You do it by yourself. And people just assume that I'm in a certain pay bracket. I don't even have to say nothing. They just see my life and what I'm able to do and start calculating my money for me. So sometimes you don't even have to say anything to the guys. They just look at the life that you're living and make assumptions about you. And if they don't think that they are in that bracket or they're able to meet that, they avoid you. I've had guys say to me, listen, Dami, I don't think so. I don't think I can afford your type of, because I'm in this space right now and you're clearly here. Do you get what I'm saying? And and they've just categorically said, no, I don't want a relationship. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to go there. So I stand on what I'm saying in that some men, they just don't want a woman that they think is doing better than them because it diminishes their self-esteem and their ego and it makes them feel like they're not where they need to be. And sometimes you don't even have to say nothing. They just have to be privy to your lifestyle for them to be like, oh, nah, she must be on this. I don't want people to exaggerate and just make it all about money. Like, oh, don't date a guy who's not making money. Because I do agree with you when you say that reduces your pool.
Significantly.
Drastically, because in the UK, when you look at statistics, the black women are making more money than the black men. There's more successful black women than there are black men. So if you're a black woman looking at black men, because this conversation only applies to the black community, we don't see people outside of our community talking about who's making more. Whatever.
They're not gonna be making these ill-informed judgments. You're not gonna
find a guy like, I mean, you might, but you might also be on the shelf for a long time.
No, you're gonna be on the shelf forever if you're literally if you're just looking for a man that's earning more than you, then you're playing the game backwards.
It's possible. I don't want to start telling people it's impossible. You'll be waiting for the rest of your life. It's possible to meet someone that is of similar ilk, if not higher than you. But just know that you're going to be waiting a lot longer. You've got a lot more to sift through, so it's going to be harder for you to find.
If you just going by that number, you'll find a guy tomorrow, but then all of the other qualities that you value, they're going to be missing because you're not looking for the qualities, you're looking for numbers.
They might be
numbers
missing.
Have no meaning.
They might be missing because
they'll most likely be missing.
No, might be, because I also have a friend who was very much, I want a rich man, and she's got her rich man and she's married to him and she's got a baby with him and they're happy. I think people just need to think logically and be guided on it. Same thing with men, going on about young women. I don't think it's the youth that you're looking for. I think it's the attractiveness and mindset that you're looking for, the character that you're looking for. You can still find that in an older woman. Do you know what I mean? So this whole narrative of women are chasing money, men are chasing youth, can we just drop it? It's just dumb, in my opinion.
I can't open up a whole new can of worms, so.
No, I mean, if you want to make it the main topic.
It's not, no. It's an argument we've hashed out a million times.
Okay.
It's just you slipped it in there, so I always want to rebuttal.
What age?
Yeah.
Go on, rebuttal it then.
No, it's cool.
No, go for it.
Let us move on.
No, just drop it. Because I gave my speech. Drop it.
It's cool. End on your speech.
Oh my Lord. Now I want to know. You can't do that. I want to know what you was going to say.
No, it was just because you're talking about the age thing, and I'm like, nah, it's the younger women are more attractive. It's not it's like almost not debatable. It's like when a girl is like around about maybe around about 25, that's probably like the peak, the intersection of her youth and her physique and her maturity.
Not really,
but
because women come into their shape in their later 20s.
That's why I said 25.
Some women even get their shape after they've had a baby.
I know.
So that's a lie. Right off the bat there, that's a lie.
No, you said some.
That's a
and
lie.
You're right, some.
Yeah, some. And also...
Yeah, it's not a lie.
This is
an opinion.
This is my theory. This is my theory, yeah? As a woman, it is extremely important that you upkeep how you look. Because our looks is our currency, right? So I'm an older woman. Just this weekend, I had a guy move to me thinking I was 26. We both know I am far from 26, okay?
I mean, far as context, but yeah.
No, I'm far from 26. I'm far from 26.
Yeah, but if I was 50 and then you said, oh, I'm far from 26, I'd be like, not that far.
I'm far
from... If I was 70, I'd be like, not that far.
I'm closer to being a decade over 26 than being 26. So I'm far from 26. Do you get what I'm saying? Okay. Right. So, but it's because I've maintained how I look.
And so he thought you was 26.
So he thought I was younger. So,
which is my point, though.
Hold on. Because you said it's not comparable. Younger women will always look better. I'm not a younger woman.
But by your description, what have you maintained?
Which is why I said for women, it's important to maintain your beauty because that is our currency. So that narrative that when you're old, you're washed, men won't want you, it is a lie if you upkeep your appearance. Make sure you're fit. So you look physically fit because men, I don't care how old you are. Yeah. Men like women that look good. Janet Jackson can still get man because she looks good. Well, last time I looked at her.
If she had Janet's old face, as in not the old face, but the untinkered face or the less tinkered face.
I saw a video recently of this, even with the tinkered face. Man was going mad for her. She pulled him on stage and she did something and he was. Oh
no, that was young Janet. That was a younger Janet.
No, she wasn't younger. Yeah. She wasn't younger. She wasn't in her 30s or 20s. She was older Janet when that video.
Okay, I thought this was the mixed race, by the way. It was kind of mixed race looking.
No, she wasn't in her 30s or 20s.
Okay.
Google it. She wasn't in her 30s or 20s. She was an older woman, like 40s, right? 30s, late 30s, 40s at that time.
Yeah.
But when you hear men like young women, we're thinking 20s. Girls are thinking 18 to 25. But if you still look good in your 30s and 40s, you're not only going to get older men. You're not just going to get men your age or older looking at you. You're going to also get the younger man looking at you because you kept your beauty. So yeah, that's going to always be my rebuttal when you say, younger women. I'm like, I hear it. But also as a woman that's no longer in her 20s again, I still get a man in it. And I'm not even I haven't even finished. I haven't hit my peak. That's the joke. I haven't hit my peak in how I look. Because once I've hit that peak, 2024, when I've lost the weight I want to lose and I'm looking snatched and everything's, I'm getting man now. What am I going to get then? Do you get what I'm saying? So I just think this is why I said what I said, that the whole narrative around women only going for money, men only going for youth, that needs to be scrapped because there's loads of anomalies and it's all about how the character and the person individually is what matters, not those blanket statements, those generalizations, because it's crazy. I know so many women in their 30s that look banging because we weren't doing our nails and our hair and weaves and all that from the age of 16 to 18, 19, 20. We started doing that later in life. So we actually let our bodies develop. We didn't mash up our bodies with BBL, Botox, filler at young age. If you look at some of those younger girls, they look older than some of the women in their 30s currently.
Of course.
Like when I was out, I was sitting at the table. There was women that were younger than me, and the guys were thinking I was younger than them, and I wasn't. I'm almost a decade older than them. So for women, we have to upkeep our beauty. For men, try and enlarge your pocket, and everything will be good no matter what age you are in it. That's my theory. That's why I made the point. That's why I made the point. You can't come to me telling me younger women. I'll just laugh at you. I'm like, people that think that I'm young, they don't know that I'm actually a hag.
You're not a hag. But this is the same point.
When we have these conversations, yeah, it does make me feel like a hag. It makes me feel old. Like, it's not nice being in your 30s as a woman and you're hearing men your age and older tell you you're not desirable because you grew up. Like,
no,
they grew
but no
up
one's
too.
saying no one's
Do you know
saying
what I
you're not
mean?
desirable. No one's saying you're not desirable. I think that the point that you made, it only reinforces the point that I'm making, which I said I reckon around about 25 is the intersection point where a woman's youth and her growing is like at the cross section. If you can maintain that, then you've maintained the peak of that for a duration of time. And then you've degraded it much slower, which is obviously everyone's purpose, is trying to prolong your youth. That's why they call it youth. That's why it's a separate word.
And you know what makes me laugh about
it.
this, yeah? There's guys my age, no offense, they're balding, their hairline's receding, all the alcohol that they drank over the years, that they were still able to maintain abs. Now they've got a little pot belly, they've gained their little uncle weight. They look old. So do you know what makes me laugh? These men going on about they like younger women. I look at the men in my age bracket and I'm like, you look old, bro. I don't want to date you.
Yeah.
No cap. I got moved to recently by a guy in his like mid to late 30s. And that's the kind of guy I should be going for, given my age in it, right? But I was looking at him, I was like, I don't find you attractive. You look old to me, bro. That's because I look in the mirror and I still see my young face. And I'm looking at men around my age and they look, do you know what I mean? Like, they let themselves go. So I'm thinking, unless you got peas, please don't come to me. Sorry to be that type of girl, but like, because you don't look as good as you did in your 20s. And I think men also need to hear that.
I don't think anyone does. Like, that's the point.
People still think I'm 26.
Yeah, no, but if they compared you to you when you was 26, you'll probably be able to see a difference.
Well, when I was 26, I looked like a bit of a teenager. I looked young.
This is the point. Everyone changes over time.
Fair enough, but I'm a woman in around the not around it, but I'm, like the decent age gap that I'm looking at men in that decent, and I'm like, you look old. You don't even look attractive. And it's you lot that want to be saying you want 25-year-olds. And then on top of that, you don't look attractive and then you don't have money. So what are you for? No, come on. Like, let's be very real. I'm not even trying to be, because you know me, I don't try to take the piss out of people. I don't believe in that. Like, I like to think that I'm kind-hearted. Like, I think about character and all that stuff as well, yeah. But I also want to look at my man and be like, damn, he's sexy. Some of you don't look sexy. Some of you you look old, bro. And you want to come and tell me, you're going to come and tell me that you're looking for a younger babe. When even the
way men look,
it's crazy.
The way men look is a reflection of the way women are attracted to men. There's women I've met who don't date man unless he's got a dad bod. Men would only look this way if that's what women are picking.
Cool. This babe right here, who's young at heart, who still looks good for her age. I don't want a pot belly man. I want us to grow our pot belly together in our 40s and 50s. Not now. Do you get it? Like, it's not sexy. So you look old or you look your age, and then on top of that, you're not even established as well. Come on. Fair enough, girls like men that look like that, but you didn't even think to upkeep your wallet the same way that I kept my beauty. We all know men's currency is their wallet, women's currency is their beauty. I kept my end of the bargain. You didn't keep yours. Don't come and step to me.
I don't even know if men's currency is their wallet.
It's definitely their wallet. Women go for...
I think that's only for a particular type of woman.
It's their wallet. It's whether they're established in terms of maturity or established in terms of what they have and what they have to offer. And when you get to a certain age, you have to have something on offer. Otherwise, what have you been doing for almost 30 years of your life, 30, 40 years of your life? You're not in your 20s. You're not trying to figure it out. You should have figured it out by now. Do you get what I'm saying? So, I don't know, man. I kept my end of the bargain. Please, keep yours before you come to me. No shade. Only for the older guys. That's all I'm going to say. The younger ones, I give it a blight because you're still trying to figure it out. But the older ones, please don't. Please, let's not do that. ZZ Mills posted a tweet off the back of an interview or a clip from one of Lori Harvey's clips where she was talking about having standards and not deviating from those standards in dating. And ZZ Mills tweeted, "Your everyday woman thinking she can move like Lori Harvey is like your everyday man thinking he can move like Future. You don't have the same access, lifestyle, etc. I said what I said. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, cry somewhere else." And then she sweetened it with a kiss at the end. What are you saying?
I mean, she didn't lie. She did not lie. I see a lot of people using the words of celebrities as their mantra, as if they're one and the same. And I don't think people really deep the level of delusion you have to look at someone who, I don't know Lori Harvey's exact living situation, but the daughter of a famous man, I don't know who the mum is, but the daughter of a very, very famous, successful man. Let's say they live in Hollywood, £1 million house. No, I don't even know what Lori Harvey does other than date men and like float through life like a bird, just enjoying everything that's coming her way. And then you're going to take advice from her as to how to live your life. And you haven't even left the country this year. You're living in London, working a 9 to 5 or a 10 to 10 or a 12 to, you know what I mean? Your life is completely different. You and this woman could not be any more dissimilar. But I guess because she's black, you might take that as, okay, this is my sister and I can take advice from her. I want the outcome she's got, even though she's, I guess, single, just swanning about, enjoying her life. These people are strangers. If you're talking about your life and their life, or your financial scenarios or your social scenarios, literally everything that Zizi said, you couldn't be more dissimilar from this person who you're trying to use as mantra for your life. It's unrealistic.
Okay, so who in the public eye do you aspire to be like, or who in the public eye do you consider to be your role model?
I don't have any anymore. I used to love looking up to, or my main people was Kanye, Will Smith, and Pharrell.
Okay,
I absolutely love them. Will Smith, super driven, successful. Like I don't act. I have no intention of acting. I just really liked, prior to everyone trying to destroy this man's character, I loved the way that he came across, like a man for the people, just a clean sheet, really good example. You can imagine bringing Will Smith around any member of your family, whether they're old or young, and then being able to have a great time with this person. That's the kind of person I wanted to be. Kanye was like super driven, avant-garde, rule breaker. Love that. Pharrell, very just unique and had a coolness that was not related to, like, even though he does do gangster tunes and stuff, but he himself had no gangster energy, no macho bravado. All of his accolades were due to him being cool or quirky or smart. Things I liked. So, those people, I couldn't be any more dissimilar to them. I couldn't be any more not like them in terms of who they are. But the qualities I valued in them were literally just very isolated things. I didn't listen to the words of Will Smith, read his book, and then be like, I'm going to do that. No, I just like who that person is in his scenario. How do I emulate that in my scenario? Do
you think that men don't have the same? Because you're saying don't apply a famous person or somebody in that caliber and that social status, don't apply their mantra to your life. Don't you think that people in general do that anyway? You aspire to be like someone or to have a mindset like somebody else that you see as a role model. That's very normal.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right. So my opinion on this situation is I think that every person has a right to have high standards for themselves. Everyone. has a right to have high standards for themselves. Having high standards has nothing to do with how much money you make, the lifestyle you have, your social status. No, it's about the standard of life you want to keep for yourself. And that includes the people you have around you, the spaces you move into, the jobs that you agree to do, everything regarding your life. You have every right to have a high standard for it. Lori Harvey was talking about having non-negotiables as a woman in dating and not straying from those non-negotiables. I think what she's saying is correct. I think both men and women should have non-negotiables and not stray from that. Your non-negotiables might be different from Will Smith's non-negotiables, but you should still have non-negotiables. And that's the point that I think Zeze Mills might have missed. Because I agree, a lot of girls are looking for the top 1 or 10%. I know that's a thing, especially the younger ones. I know that's a thing because that's what social media tells me. However, the only time that I agree with what Zeze is saying is when it comes to seeking men with money. But you see everything, all the other characteristics, have your non-negotiables. I don't want a man that has kids. That could be your non-negotiable. I don't want a man that's been married before. I don't want a man that was abusive to a previous partner. I don't want a man... Like, you can have those non-negotiables and you don't have to be Lori Harvey status to have that. Anyone can have that. So that is my opinion on that. There are guys out there that look at these rap artists like Jay-Z and aspire to be like Jay-Z in all aspects of his life. And I think there's nothing wrong with having those aspirations. In fact, having those aspirations means that you're going to, hopefully, that you're going to try and strive towards that as opposed to just having it and you're still, I don't know, living in a council house, not doing nothing with your life. Do you get what I'm saying? So I think it's fine for people to have a role model and then be like, I want to aspire to be like them, or I've learned something from them and I want to apply that to my life. I just think that people should be realistic. That's all. So like if Lori is saying that she wants a guy who can take care of her financially, I think even if you're a girl that lives in a single parent home, broke down estate, you work in McDonald's, you have every right to have that same standard. It's just going to be in proportion to what you have access to. That's all. Do you get what I'm saying? So I don't really agree with the overall message that Zeze gave, because it definitely came across as though she was saying, if you don't live in that social status bracket, then you shouldn't have non-negotiables or standards like they do. And actually, you 100% can. You can say, I want a guy that makes more money than me. I want a guy that can look after me. I want someone who will be family orientated. I want someone who, like, you can have the same sort of standards. It will just be in proportion to the lifestyle that you have access to. That is all. And even if it wasn't in proportion, it's fine to aspire to something, because a lot of people that have made it, that end up in these social brackets, right, in that area, they were nothing. They came from nothing and they saw someone above them and aspired to have that. And then that's how they got themselves there. So.
Yeah, but there's only so many spaces in those places.
Yeah, but everyone.
So the reality is.
That doesn't mean that everyone should strive towards it. Do you know what I'm saying?
But the reality is most people won't make it. So if you want to actually have some type of happiness in your life, then it doesn't make sense to aspire to have the same standards or whatnot as Lori Harvey, because again, as Zeze mentioned in that clip, you don't have the access. For example, I could not tell you what Lori Harvey does for a living, like to make money or whatever. Somebody can, but I don't know. However, what I do know is probably the last 3 or 4 guys she's dated, and I don't even follow her on Instagram. I know who her dad is. I know how pretty she is. I know a lot about this girl off rip, as if people want me to know before I want to know. The regular girl does not have that. So for example, if I don't care that she's dated a Damson and she's dated a Future and and all I see is this pretty girl that's, what is she now, 20,
I don't
25, 26.
No, I think she's 26, 27 or something like that.
26, 27?
Yeah.
So if I'm like, yeah, she's 26, 27, black girl, really pretty, from the side of America that I like, whatever, and I'm single, then, and I like people that are in the limelight, then I'm like, yeah, cool, fair game. So I'm seeking her out from a place of not even having known her personally. Most of these people who are gonna, well, not most of the people, some of the people that Zizi might be talking to who are from completely different living circumstances, we don't even know who you are. So you having this fantastical standard, which you're more than welcome to have, but where you want a big boss who drives the this and da-da-da-da, okay, cool, but we don't even know who you are. So I don't know how you think this man's gonna find you. And I also don't know how you are gonna find this brother.
Because she knows where to go. So there's a lot of girls, like, and this is the thing with the rise of social media, for example, there's a lot of regular girls that you would call regular that move in those circles. I know girls that move in those circles and they come from a council house. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's not impossible. I've said already in this episode,
it's not impossible, it's improbable.
I disagree with that as well. Like, I feel like
it's improbable. There's more girls than there are spaces.
All it takes,
improbable.
All it takes, you could be a council flat girl. And I don't even want to say council flat girl. You can be a girl that is a nobody, right? And be as pretty as Lori Harvey. Because if you're gonna,
of course,
you could
be prettier.
Let me finish. Let me land, didn't it? Like, as pretty as Lori Harvey, and all you have to do is know the right spots to go to in Mayfair. And next thing you know, you're mixing with those type of guys, and you've given yourself access to the kind of guys that Lori could possibly date. Billionaires, millionaires, right?
Yeah.
There's like, it's there, and girls know how to look to find what they need to find to get there. Okay. So the access thing, you might not have access to a rap artist or whatever, but then again, you might know that know that they like a certain aesthetic, and then you start to create that aesthetic for yourself. All it takes is for you to be an influencer for a lot of girls, because beauty is your currency. For the ones that, because if you want to start talking about you're not as attractive now, then I can hear it, because men care about what you look like. And if you're trying to have the same standard as Lori Harvey, in terms of who you date, you better try and present like a Lori Harvey.
Of course.
Or you're not going to get those guys. It's just is what it is.
But it's probability again.
But I think, that it's very easy when you are a regular person for you to limit your thinking. I used to be like that till I met certain friends and started mixing in certain spaces. Then I said, oh, my eyes are open. I didn't know. It's there. There's access to it for regular people, especially regular women, because we have an asset that men can't sell. We have our looks, we have our bodies, and there's girls that are willing to do what they got to do to get into those circles and do what they need to do, right? So, again, as much as I hear what you're saying, I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong or like it's illogical.
No.
But I also know that there's girls that can have access to guys that Lori would have access to, if not better. Like, tycoon, million billionaires, all because she went to a party. If not in this country, she might have spent a cheap ticket to Portugal. Like, I have a wild story for you. I found myself in the midst of footballers when I went to Portugal after university. So we went for Bants. I don't think my ticket was even £200. The whole trip, your girl was taken here, taken there, all because we went to a location, went to like a party, and one of us happened to spark the attention physically in terms of how we looked from a guy that was on a football team. Next thing you know, he's taking us to an all-white party with all these... that's how it works for girls. So I can't speak for men, but for girls, if you are attractive and stuff like that, you don't even have to have money for you to find yourself in certain...
Of course.
Do you know what I'm saying? You just got to know how, okay? And again, that's pretty privilege as well. If you don't have the
that's pretty privilege. That is pretty privilege.
Which is why I'm saying... Which is why
I'm a minority privilege.
Not really, because there's loads of really pretty girls out there. There's loads of really pretty girls.
There can be literally hundreds of thousands of pretty girls. But it's the percentage of the population. They are the minority by far. It doesn't matter how pretty they are. It doesn't matter how many. There's far more not pretty girls.
Venom, I don't care about minority and majority. I'm just letting you know.
But that's the point, though. No. But the point is, if you're
no. Let me finish my point.
I didn't finish my point.
Go on then. Sorry.
What I was saying is, if there's 100,000 pretty girls who, if they just thought about it, could access these kind of guys, if that's what they want, and these social circles, etc., etc. Blanket statement, I can't say, yeah, so you should think like Lori Harvey, because there's 100,000 girls who look good enough to actually achieve what she's achieving. And then there's 300,000, 400, 500, 800, a billion girls who are not pretty enough. Like, it's just not a possibility for them. So I can't be like, yeah, listen to her. And if you try, you can get there.
Like I said, there's
a small few that can do that.
There's nothing wrong with women, no matter how you look, no matter what social status you have, for you to have non-negotiables. Because let's not stray away from what Lori said. That's what Lori said. She said, blanket statement, have your non-negotiables and don't stray from that. That's the message. Irrespective of class, creed, looks.
And prettiness.
Ableism, all of that. Have your non-negotiables, please. Don't settle for crap just because you're not Lori Harvey. Don't do that. Yeah? Everybody deserves to have the life that they want to have. Aspire to have the life that they want to have. Or have a good quality of life and have a good partner. So have your non-negotiables, okay? Right, cool. That being said, I don't care if there's only 5 flipping Lori Harvey looking type girls in the UK or in the world, yeah? That doesn't mean that all the other girls don't have access to some of these men. Men want beauty. They want sex. As long as men want sex, girls can have access to these men. Trust and believe it. I've seen it with my own eyes. Trust and believe it. And there's even men out there that are willing to even spend money on the girl's plastic surgery for him to get what he wants from that girl. So, and I'm not condoning it. I'm not saying that girls should sell pom-pom to get these guys. I'm just saying to you that you see Zizi's point, as much as it sounds great, it means nothing, because there's girls out there that don't even look half as good as Lori Harvey, and they're able to bag some of the richest men in the world because they have something that these men want. So it doesn't matter about minority, majority, whatever. If you having that aspiration doesn't change the fact that you could have access to it. And if you aspire to have it so bad, some people will go to the nth degree to get what they want to get. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that that's a fact of life, because women have something that men can't sell. Men don't have it within them. We've got it. And women have been using it to their advantage from the beginning of time. Whether they're pretty or not. Do you see what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
So have your aspirations, honey. I know what way I would go. I would definitely go down the more moral and value, the moral route. I'm not going to sell nothing to get nothing. But there's girls that are willing to do that because they want a social climb or they want to have those aspirations. Do you, baby? I'm not here to judge. Do you understand me? But I don't want people thinking that because they're of a lower status, they can't have it and they shouldn't have it. That's not right. That's not true. Because some of them don't have it, shouldn't have it, and still get it anyway. Pretty or not. Because I've seen some of these rich black men, like the African ones that have wives back in Africa, but they're when you see some of how the before and afters of the girls that they're rolling with, that they're doing that side,
yeah, of course.
You'll be thinking, how? Why? She's not a Lori Harvey. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's my point on it.
Yeah.
Girls always have something to sell, so.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I'm still more along the lines of what Zizi said. And another reason why is because I think the conversation and what it alludes to, like, I don't believe people should not have their non-negotiables or not have standards for themselves. But I think in that same breath, that shouldn't be an aspiration to put forth. I have these are my like, you're just creating walls and barriers and stopping yourself from finding happiness in things that you don't always understand. I would never say, like, now I've experienced dating someone, for example, with kids. It's not that I don't find people attractive who have kids or whatnot, but obviously at the point in my life that I had reached, I was like, okay, you know what? Now that I've seen that and I want to start a family for myself, and I've seen the scenarios of blended families and whatnot, actually, if I want to give myself the best shot, I wouldn't start like that. So let me not.
But that's you, Venom. Some women.
No, I'm aware.
Yeah, like
I'm aware that's just me.
Some women, they just want, and I'll use money as an example because it seems like it's a running theme today. Some women, they just want to get out of their social bracket and they want a guy that's going to spend lavishly on them, fly them places and all that. And they don't care about the rest. And so they're willing to do, that is their standard. That's their goal. And so even though they're broke, they've come from nothing, they will do whatever it takes to get there. And they'll be happy there because that was always their aspiration. And they're willing to accept whatever. Given what they've done to get there, they're willing to accept whatever to stay there. There's some women that are in marriages to really rich men, knowing their men is sleeping around, making babies all over the gaff. But because he buys her nice bags and she's got the social status being with him, she's happy to stay there. Women don't think the way men do. And I've said this before as well. Men don't think the way women do. Women don't think the way men do. So men trying to apply their logical thought process to what some women do and how some women choose to live their lives is redundant. You might have had a situation that you thought was like the baby, dating someone with a baby, for example, that you was that you thought was okay before, got into the situation and thought, not for me. Some girls will get into the situation and be like, I'm gonna manage because this is what I'm benefiting from that.
Yeah.
We're not the same, and we never will be. So that's my point on that. Like, everybody live their life how they want to live their life. I'm never going to be the one that's going to tell people that they should or should not have aspirations like someone or so forth. Like, who the hell are you to tell somebody else not to have certain aspirations when you yourself, you're not even Lori Harvey status?
I hear that.
Right?
I hear that entirely.
And Lori Harvey wasn't even talking about dating rich men. She wasn't talking about dating men that she was saying, have standards for yourself. Have non-negotiables for how you want to date and stick to it. Don't be doing like this. That talks about your character. If I'm a woman that says I don't want a man that slept with a certain number of girls, I don't want a guy that's got high numbers. If that's my non-negotiable, I need to stand on that. I need to stand on business, is what they're saying in the streets these days. On that, and not move because I want to date somebody or because I'm feeling lonely, I should now just date whoever. No. That's my non-negotiable. That's my non-negotiable. And that's what Lori's trying to say. Like, she dates the way she dates because she has non-negotiables. And the moment she's seen that those non-negotiables are questioned, she bounces. And I think every girl should move like that. Every guy should move like that. I mean, men move like that anyway.
I don't agree.
Men move like that anyway.
I definitely remember
I said there's ambers and there's red flags. Your non-negotiables should be the red flags, if that makes sense. Like, things that there's no way in hell that I'm going to accept that for my life. And I think you have every right to decide what you're going to accept in your life. You might say, I would never date a woman that's had plastic surgery. That is your non-negotiable, right? For example, right? No one should be able to tell you that you should move that non-negotiable just because of what the options are.
I'm not necessarily saying because of what the options
you know
are.
What I mean? So for me, for example, I have certain non-negotiables. Some might say, Dammy, you're getting a bit old now. If you want to have a family, you might need to move those non-negotiables. I would say, why should I accept a life that I'm not going to be happy with just because I might not have babies and get married? I rather live the life I'm living now where I'm doing all right. I'm okay. I'm not sad. I'm not crying about the fact that I'm not married and ain't got kids. I would rather be in this life than be living a life where I'm not going to be happy anyway. So what's the point? That's why that's why I'm saying that I think people should have non-negotiables. Your non-negotiables need to make sense. Don't be stupid now, but have your non-negotiables and stick to it. Don't be like a leaf in autumn.
I don't know. I definitely don't agree, but that's because I'm a rule breaker. And I back to the Kanye's and the Pharrells, that's in terms of my core principles of like the things I've adopted from others or that I aspire to show in myself through others is the ability to see rules, to create rules, and then to know when to break them. Much like if someone, for example, off rip, I wouldn't date someone that's had plastic surgery. That was spot on for you to even use that as an example.
I know you.
However, there is someone that I dated who then got plastic surgery after the fact, and we're still good friends. And
but would you have dated them after the fact?
I wouldn't have. So this is the point. If that was how I met them, no. But because we had a history, yeah. So that's the same rule. And me being like, okay, cool. I understand this is a rule and I understand exactly why I've put it in place. However, because of the scenario, I would break it on that given scenario, I would break it on that.
I think for me, I'm the opposite. I'm very much, I want to be happy. And I think this is why I don't regret any decision I've made in my life, even the bad ones, because I've really pondered on this thing before I've made that decision. For me, I don't want to look back on my life and be like, I wish I didn't make that decision. I wish I didn't go with that person. I should have. It's like, okay, this is a saying this is a shout out to my dad. Yeah, my dad said to me one day, I think he had intuition that I was going on a date with a guy that wasn't from Nigeria. I was really young. I was like, let's say I was like 20 or something like that, and I was on my. I didn't tell. In an African household, don't tell your parents you've got a boyfriend until you've graduated. That's kind of the gist. So I didn't tell them I was going to meet a guy. I just told them I'm going to meet a friend. And that morning, I went to give my dad his tea. Like I brought his tea up to his room to give to him and say good morning. And he goes, Dami, if you don't like a food, let's say, what's the food you dislike the most? I was like, baked beans. I hate baked beans. He goes, okay. He goes, you don't like baked beans. Would you even bother to smell it? If you know you don't like it, let alone taste it. I was like, no, actually, I wouldn't bother to smell baked beans. So since I wouldn't bother to smell it because I hate the smell, I'm not going to bother to eat it either. He goes, he goes, exactly. In life, if you know that you don't like something, don't try and stretch it and make it fit because of the situation you're in at that time. At the time, he was just trying to tell me if he's not Nigerian, don't go there. I know that. But the saying is still, hopefully the sentiment behind the saying makes sense. And I live by that. If I know I don't want something, I know I don't like it, you cannot convince me to change my mind and like it later on. Because I'm going to live with that decision forever. It's the same reason why I don't have a tattoo. It's the same reason why it took me 31 years to get my nose pierced. I wanted to be sure that I like this thing, because once it's done, it's done. My nose will have a mark forever, and I will always remember that time when I had that thing done and I hated it. So that's the type of non-negotiables I'm talking about. If there's things that you know that if that was your life partner that had that thing, eventually it's going to cause contention for you, do not move from that non-negotiable. I don't care if you're in your flipping 60s on your deathbed and you've never experienced childbirth. As a woman, don't do it. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's not...
it's not my problem.
But
my purpose in life and my purpose in all of this is to help people to actually reach the point of achieving happiness, actual happiness.
Yeah.
Things like that, I see it as being prohibitive. And I don't want people to be encouraged to have thoughts that will prohibit them from finding some type of happiness. Of course it depends.
Yeah, it depends.
But again, I definitely agree that people who are not in ilk with Lori Harvey are trying to move like Lori Harvey.
And what do you think that means though? Move like Lori Harvey? Because she didn't really give
detail what she said.
On what that means, which is why it leaves it open to interpretation of that. Well, if you're trying to apply this to what Lori said, you're chatting wet. So what do you think she means when she says move like Lori Harvey?
I take it as being very dismissive is not the word, but I'll use dismissive because vocabulary right now. But in terms of how Lori Harvey has dated in the recent years that we have seen, there's definitely been some catches in there, or one would assume, not being in the relationship. And it seems very much like she's terminated all of the relationships. Again, who knows that? But that's what it seems like. And then off the back of a video where it's talking about non-negotiables, if you're looking from the perspective of, okay, so she's dated this guy, who I think are actually catches.
That you
and
think.
She's thrown, that's what I'm saying. And she's thrown them away because they don't tick whatever box it may be. Maybe she's got some really difficult boxes. So I can either have a similar approach to life whereby I'm throwing away guys who would give me a lifetime of happiness because that's what they present like. But they don't tick like this again. Yeah. But they don't tick this one box. I'm just saying the narrative that everyone sees. Or I could also learn to evolve my own self and realize that no one is perfect. And if I set my life up like a puzzle with one piece missing, most people won't fit that piece. So it's either I massage the pieces around it, or I just make the pieces that piece, and everyone must fit it, or you don't.
Okay, so what?
You don't do this right with me.
What gives you the right to prescribe to somebody else what their puzzle should be? But Lori Harvey. You might I look at Michael B. Jordan and think, why the hell would you break up with him? Damson Idris, as much as you think he's corny, why the hell would you break up with him?
No, he's a good-looking guy, though. He's just corny. He's a corny partner.
Even the corniness, I love it. Why would you break up with him? Like, I would love to have a corny partner like Damson Idris. To me, he is my favorite food. Do you get it? He's like, why wouldn't you? To her, he's not. So she's within her right, based on what she likes, to say, no, I don't want that. The same argument that you've tried to throw at me in the DMs before when I spoke about men liking younger women, and you went heavy trying to defend men, saying, I'm not going to let you or let women try and make men feel bad for liking what they like. Girls can like what they like as well.
Yeah.
And if they don't like it, they don't like it, period. Don't tell them to start accepting things that they don't like or don't want for themselves. And it's vice versa for the men as well. No one has a right to do that. It's your life. If you don't want it, you don't want it, period. If it means that you're going to be single forever, so be it. If you're happy with that, cool. You also can't prescribe other people's happiness. Just because you're married and you're happy in your relationship doesn't mean that someone else will have that same happiness if they did what you did. So people need to mind this is why I said people need to mind their business. Everyone has a right to have a standard. Everyone has a right to have their non-negotiables. Everyone has a right to be like, I'm not moving from that. It's their decision to make for themselves. They know what they're going to be happy with and what they're not going to be happy with. I don't know what you're going to be happy with. You don't know what I'm going to be happy with. So I have no right to prescribe that to you, and vice versa. Which is why I just can't agree with what you're saying. Because it sounds like you're saying, I know that you're going to be happy with one of these options. Don't let go of these options because you've got the same standard as Lori Harvey. No. That person living that life knows why they're going to let go of those options. They know why they don't want that option. Maybe it's something within them that they know that person, I'm not going to be happy with them down the line. So actually, I'm going to cut it off. And they're within their right to say that, which is what Lori Harvey's been doing.
But that's more of a sensible view, less than a view that is reflective of the context and the society that we're living in, where people are making non-negotiables or red flags and deal breakers around things that they haven't experienced.
You don't know
there's certain things. No, that's the culture that we're in.
No, but you don't know that. You don't know that you know that you know that. The discourse that
is online is very clear with the lists of red flags and whatnot.
The discourse online will tell you that relationships are in the bin. You're in a relationship. Is your relationship in the bin? No. So let's not, like, do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, you can't. I'm just one person. You can't. Exactly. So you can't pick and choose what part of social media that you want to apply to people's lives and take as fact and take as potentially fiction. No one knows anything. Everyone's talking online.
It's not fact and fiction. No it's indicative.
Okay, you can't. Whatever word you want to use, semantics. You can't pick and choose.
It's not semantics.
It is. You can't pick and choose what part of social media you want to take and be like, oh yeah, that's indicative. That's not. Online, people go on and on about how all men are cheats. All men are cheats. all men are abusive, all men are this, that. In reality, that's not true. Social media is saying that, but in reality, we know it's not true. That's not true. It's just not. So again, if I was to apply that logic that you just applied, I would be like, well, online says all men are cheats, Venom. So all men are cheats. That's not the logic
I've applied, though.
So what's the logic?
Because I said it's indicative. So if there's lists of going around of these are red flags that not to have in men, then this is the information that's being disseminated amongst, namely the black community, about things to stay away from within men. So if that doctrine then becomes a part of your psyche and you start to develop as a young woman, you're going to start to actually put some of these things into practice. So if you're putting some of these things into practice as a young woman, and then you have other young women saying, get your non-negotiables and stick by them, then these things become a part of your core character.
Okay, cool. And the same way that black men are cheats, because that's all you hear online, yeah? If it was indicative, then people wouldn't date men at all. Because they would just believe that all men are cheats. I wouldn't even talk to you, Venom, because I'd be like, nah, all men are cheats, because that's what online says. That's what I mean when I said...
I've told you I cheated, though.
Okay, then I guess maybe all men are cheats then, isn't it? Thanks for letting me know. Cool.
I told you that.
So do you see what I'm trying to say? Ago. Like, cool, fine.
Yeah, no, but
fine,
one is...
Fine, all men are cheats.
Yeah, but women act as if men are cheats by default anyway. It's more a perspective that you prove that you're not a cheat
forget the example. What I'm trying to say to you is online is not reality.
Of course not. But it informs reality.
Indicative or not, it's not reality, right? So at the end of the day, there are loads of people out there that do not agree with these lists that you see going around.
Of course.
Half the time, these lists are banter. There's way more people that don't believe in that than the ones that are piping up online. Right? So there's with social media, this is the thing that irritates me about social media, using social media as an example of reality. At the end of the day, everyone has a right to have their non-negotiables, and everyone has a right to say what they want to accept or not. Even if you haven't experienced cheating, you can know enough about it to be like, I don't want a man that cheats. Even if you haven't experienced a woman that cheats, you can be like, I don't want a woman that cheats. You can be removed from it, see it from the outside and be like, I don't want that. And you have every right to say, I don't want that, and stand on business with that. That's fine. That's my point. No one has a right to tell other people what they should or should not accept for their own life. My own life, my life. You're going to tell me to accept something that I don't want. You're going to live in your house, in your home, in your life, be happy with your life. And then I got to accept something that you think is better for me. You think you know better than I do. You think you know me better than I do. You think you know my happiness better than me. And I'm going to make a decision based on what you think. And then you're going to piss off and live your life. And then I'm going to live with that decision.
I mean, that's Lori Harvey to the same degree.
So absolutely not. All Lori said was the same thing that most mothers pass down to their daughters, most fathers pass down to their daughters or sons. Have your non-negotiables and stick by them. My dad's been telling me that. Have your standards,
but that's the same. It's the same thing of someone having an opinion and telling you.
It's not the same. It's not the same. It's just telling you the whole have your negotiables or have your standards and stick by them. It's still giving you, the person that you've given the advice to, still giving that person the option to make their own decisions. Telling someone, oh nah, you should accept things that you don't want to accept is like telling them you don't have an option. That's the difference, Venom. It's not the same. One of them gives free will, the other one doesn't.
How does telling someone to
have non-negotiables, because they get to pick what their non-negotiables are. They get to pick what their standards are. Telling someone no, they should ignore those. It's like telling them you can have your choices, but you can't at the same time.
It's not. If anything, what I said is telling someone to be guided. It's saying, you may have these ideas and thoughts about these things that you think define your character and will define your relationship, but don't make them hard and fast always. That does give someone choice. I think that says, this is my character, and then this is where,
in your opinion,
actually, this person is X, this person is Y, this person is Z.
In your opinion.
So that is choice.
Cool.
Because they can apply it or not.
We can agree to disagree. So, guys, that was the end of the episode. Hopefully you made it this far. If you did, thank you very much. Give us a like. If you're new to the show, please hit subscribe. Our socials will be on the screen or in the description. Am I missing anything? I don't think I am.
Give us a thumbs up, likes.
Yeah, said that. Oh yeah, audio platforms 4 to 5 star rating. And that's it, really. Anything else that I might have missed, I'll just stick it in the description. It has been your home slice, Dami Zane, alongside my co-host
Venom in the building.
And it's been the Unpicked podcast. Until next week.
Peace.